Hello, sweethearts, and welcome to week 1 of the Let's Play Apple Tarot competition. Our theme this week, Twisted. So I present to you a PS2 RPG presented by a Mr. Akitoshi Kawazu, a man about whom you can say a great deal, but I'll defer to Jeremy Parish writing about him in Game Boy World 1989, and I quote, "No work better represents the mad passion of Kawazu than 2003's Unlimited Saga, a game that, I've been told by people in the know, he created even as he openly admitted it would be wildly unpopular. Unlimited Saga is a mess of a game. It makes little sense and makes even less effort to explicate its workings to the player. It's bewildering, befuddling, and yet beneath the opacity of it all you can see certain mechanisms at work, consistent rules and reliably chaotic operations. Unlimited Saga makes a twisted sort of sense, if you understand this foundation." So yeah, that's the flimsy reasoning that led us to this. Why is this game twisted? Well, it's not very good for a start, and a lot of people agree with that. To point to some data, it currently has a 45 on Metacritic, 2.59 out of 5 on GameFAQs, the third lowest PS2 RPG, and rated the hardest PS2 RPG, which is very interesting. But that shouldn't concern us right now. What should concern us is, what was Akitoshi Kawazu trying to do with this game? And I, and Jeremy Parish apparently, have a theory. He was trying to blur the lines between console RPG and tabletop RPG. To quote Mr. Parish again, "Perhaps more than any other single designer, Kawazu fixates on the relationship between video games and tabletop or pen and paper games. He attempts to marry the unpredictability and complexity of those formats, the randomness of dice rolls, the labyrinth rules of a bookshelf full of Dungeons & Dragons manuals, into console RPG, a medium defined by its drive to simplify, to reduce, to automate, to streamline." And Kawazu was right there at the birth of Japanese console RPG, working on the battle system of Final Fantasy I and producing Final Fantasy II. You can draw a thorough line from tabletop RPGs, all of Dungeons & Dragons, computer RPGs, Ultima and Wizardry, right to the Japanese role-playing scene. So Kawazu knows his shit, and this game, his magnum opus, if you will, in the Saga series, is him blurring the lines between tabletop RPG and console RPG and becoming his own crazed DM running a homebrew campaign. This is that campaign. This is Unlimited Saga. And it even has a Final Fantasy X-2 preview, but we're going to ignore that, and we're going to pick one of these 7 lovely characters. We're just going to start with Laura, because I like Laura. She's nice.
What do you think you're looking at? Come any closer to me and you'll get hurt.
She's got spunk. I like spunk. So we'll delve in and get past all this little opening stuff, and then I can tell you how Unlimited Saga works, because I've been doing my homework.
This is Niva Kalina. It is the hamlet where I first met Laura. The funeral of her husband, Pablo, has just ended. But it was a funeral without a body. Her beloved Pablo died in an accident while traveling. Only his glasses were left behind. The cracked lenses gave little clue as to Pablo's fate.
Well, she does look good even when she's mourning. Oh, shit! This isn't actually an encounter, but it is encounter-ish. It's just cutscene playing out as encounter. And this is the sketch motion graphics at work, or whatever they're called. The game looks really nice. Don't get me wrong, but looks ain't everything. So this is sort of what you can do in battle. Parrying blows and casting fire magic on these hired goons, I guess. And off he goes. We won. Yay. But we still have more story to get through, so we'll just go with that. Because, you know, every tabletop campaign GM has to make a nice little compelling plot hook, so here we have Prince Henri of Escada.
What do you think?
Kind of reminds me of Giorno Giovanni from Part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There's your obscure manga reference, but this is our quest. And the Festival of Regina Leone, you may have noticed in the opening cutscene, which was fantastic, by the way, that's a major part of this game. So Laura and Henri join up and now we can go through town. So, why don't we just head out of town and go on to an adventure, alright? That's what you want to do in these RPGs. Well, you can't actually go anywhere. What the hell am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? What you're actually supposed to do is go to the inn, select an adventure, and you pick your quest line. So, we're going on the road to Vaftum, and yeah, her dead husband's school is closed forever. How sad.
Pablo.
I don't know if the voice acting is that good, but you don't hear that much of it. And now we're into the game proper. So, no world map, no third-person dungeon perspective, no first-person maze. We are a little figurine on a board, much like we would be in a tabletop RPG. I'll just use this skill to, I think it'll get me past the monsters easily. So this is it. You just point with the analog stick and you move along the board, and you explore past the fog of war, and try to fight monsters and find treasure and just generally get from point A to point B. So yeah, the monsters are popping up, but they're not actually attacking, probably because we have that nice little skill going. DM's being nice, but now we get into a forced encounter with more of the thugs, and that'll actually be our first battle. Here we go! The battle system. There's two major things, well, three, I guess, that I have to be explaining about this. So we get 5 actions a turn, and I don't know if they really matter. You can do them in any order you like, so we're just gonna get some cool shit going, and the idea is to kill these rat things first. I could take all 5 of my turns with Laura, but I'm gonna spread out. And here's the battle wheel. It's a slot machine, basically. All the wheels are lit up with just standard punch things here. And the enemy, we interrupted its combo with one of our own. And we did damage, and life point damage. The red numbers are life points, the white hit points. Think of hit points as less of your health and more of your defense, and the life points are what really matter. You can heal the hit points, but not the life points in the dungeon. So, if those life points go, you're gone. You're dead. Okay, so we're keeping on with this slot wheel mechanic, which I'll talk more about after the battle's over. But there's one other neat thing you can do. You can hold the wheel and make a little combo of your own, which helps when there are less enemies, because then they won't be interrupting your turns. Because if they interrupt your turns, supposedly you get hit with more damage, but you do hit more damage on the enemy, so nice risk-reward thing going there. There's only one guy left here, so we're free to pretty much wail on him with all of our strength. He might interrupt 1 or 2 combos. Yeah, he does that, but that's fine. So, HP and LP are really confusing, but they are holdovers from other Saga games. Because this is part of a long-running series, even though it's wildly different from something like the Final Fantasy Legend on the original Game Boy. But I think of it as like the Constitution score in a tabletop RPG. Because in the tabletop RPG, if you get down to 0 health, you don't immediately die. You just sort of keel over, go unconscious. If you're damaged by a certain number of hit points after that, then you die. It sort of works the same way here, except Kawazu's being gracious enough to let you stay on your feet even if you have 0 HP. And he's counting the life points as your negative hit points. I guess. I mean, even with this justification that this is some sort of twisted campaign, tabletop RPG hybrid, there's still a lot of this game that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you can heal your HP by pressing L3 and just staying still for a couple of turns. I think you only get so many turns in certain missions, though, but we have enough to finish this little mission just to get from point A to point B, so it's fine, really. So that's basically what you do. The one more little wrinkle about the battle system is that if you do certain attack combinations like punch kick, punch throw, or whatever, sometimes you spark and get a new technique. And the dungeon has some booby traps, and we've got another slot machine here. So we want to hit the green. Hitting the X is bad, hitting the dynamite is very bad. A lot of people rag on this, but again, there's a clear tabletop analog. Rolling dice. Now, console RPGs usually just do that for you. They calculate the probability off to the side, and you either hit or you don't, and you go walk up to a guy and stab him 10 damage. But in this game, Kawazu decided to simulate the act of rolling a dice and probability in his own way, with a slot machine. Does it work? I don't really know, because, well, it's not as complex yet, because it's all just green. You get different icons. Green, blue, purple, and orange, I believe. Also, your equipment has durability, because Kawazu thinks this is Fire Emblem. Well, and then again, Saga 1 had that too, so I shouldn't really be ragging that badly. But a lot of people really couldn't get past this, and I have to admit, this is an intimidating game. I've had it for like over a year, and I'm scared to death to play the thing. I haven't actually gotten past, well, where I'm going to get through in this video, so I'm just waiting to hit the right thing. Memorize the slot reel. Well, you can't do that with a dice. No. You either got to take the one, or just hope to God you roll good. Thank goodness for rerolls in tabletop RPGs. That's all I'll say, because I know. They don't call our tabletop group Incompetence Quest for nothing. I'll tell you guys that much. And I mean, these little monsters only have 1 life point each, so you just hit them with a good combo or two, and they go down without a real big fight. There's another thing in battle that's interesting, is positioning. If I were to pick Henri first, he and Laura would swap places. And if I used Laura for all 5 attacks, Henri would jump out of the turn order, just jump out of the battle entirely, leaving Laura all to herself, and then she'd take the brunt of the attacks. So, there's also that, I suppose. But I mean, really, I gleaned all this just by watching a bunch of tutorials on YouTube that someone else made and doing my homework. Granted, the manual doesn't explain jack shit about all this, and Japan apparently got a nice handy strategy guide that really explained all this stuff, but we didn't, which is unfortunate. But I mean, hardest PS2 RPG ever? Come the fuck on. This is a Silver Surfer RPGs, I swear. And here's another thing. We weren't getting any experience for those battles, but here's how you level up. At the end of a dungeon, you get these panels, and you can put them on this little hexagon thing. Now, I'm just going for what boosts the numbers the biggest, but there's synergy to these. There's way too much synergy for me to describe here. So, yeah, I'll just link to the tutorial on the growth panels here, because, wow! This is a complex, deep system, but you can see our numbers went up a bit, so that's what matters for now. So we can save if we want to, we can leave our friends behind, but we successfully made it to Wanda Carrier Central. And if we just talk to the townspeople here, we learn some things. Something about Escada. Don't want to go to Escada. And hey, look! It's the mage girl from the intro. She's going to join up with us. Mom. Well, she is 30, so keep that in mind. Do I look that old? Yeah, you're old enough to be her mother. You are.
I've already got my hands full with Henri, and now I gotta bring along a little girl, too?
Yeah, you kind of do. Laura, I'm sorry. That voice doesn't really sound like what I'd expect. So we can just check out Judy here. She's got some stuff. She's got magic, which is its whole other can of worms that we don't really need to go to. We got some new quests that we can go on if we wanted to, but we can also shop. But nah. That's enough of this, I think. That was Unlimited Saga. Akitoshi Kawazu's strange attempt to twist the space between the tabletop RPG and the console RPG. Did it work? I don't really know. Maybe one day I'll beat this game, really sink some time into it, but for now I just wanted to show off a strange, weird, fucked up Saga game. If you want to play a really nice one, you should try out the Final Fantasy Legend 1 or 2 on the Game Boy. They're pretty nice. But for now, this has been week 1 of Let's Play Apple Tarot, and I'll see all you twisted kids later. Bye-bye now.